These referee attacks have got to stop. Someone could be seriously hurt or killed. Gil, stop with the hysteria and the hyperbola. It's not that bad. Really? There's a reason that I do these stories. Mwalimu Chang'aa was killed in Kenya. He was a referee. He was a retired teacher. And in a game that he officiated, there was a call that took a goal away from a team. So naturally, what's their reaction in this age where we don't know what our limits are? They ganged up on him. The fans joined in. Someone attacked him. Multiple people did. And he died while seeking medical attention. He was killed. Someone kicked an elderly man in the chest, and he died. And he was a referee in a soccer game, making a call that he thought was correct. And I don't care if the call was correct or not. It doesn't matter. And some of the articles are talking about an unpopular decision, and that is so out of bounds. It doesn't matter. It's not an excuse for murder. And I'm going to say murder, and I'm not even saying allegedly. And the reason, again, I want to address on the last video we did about the high schooler, so many people say, how can you use allegedly? And the answer is best practices, journalistic best practices, and protection from liability. We cannot say criminal terminology and say, oh, he committed this crime without using the word allegedly, because he hasn't been actually charged and, more importantly, convicted of that crime in a court of law. That's what you need. So you have to say allegedly or you're going to get sued. Anyway, this is in Kenya. And most importantly, there is no name for the suspect. And because there is no name attached, the slander is off the table for that reason. Plus, it's international, and we don't have a litigation problem all over the world like we do in this country. Anyway, I digress. The point I'm making is, when I said in the high school football video that you have to throw the book at the person who did it, and I spotlighted the example of the Texas football player from 12 years ago who avoided charges for attacking an umpire. It was if you don't know, a football officiating crew has multiple people on it. They all have different job titles. Yes, one of those job titles on a football crew is called umpire. It's not because I don't know the difference between referee and umpire. Anywho, I digress. The reason I brought up that story of the football player from 12 years ago who evaded charges on that and then later became a police officer in the very same place that he very well could have been arrested by for the physical attack, allegedly, on that official, was because if you don't handle your business, someone is going to get killed. And that's exactly what happened not one day after the high school football case. Isn't the timing just a little weird? But it happens. This is a problem. It is a serious problem. And that is why I say you have to throw the book at these people to show that these things are not acceptable and there are very real consequences. And I've heard multiple things about the referee from the high school football game, and maybe he has a concussion, maybe this, that. The point is, there was an injury. Even if he walked off the field under his own power, they brought the card out, he was on the ground, there was an injury. That's the point. It caused harm. So there needs to be a real significant consequence. Message left, and they say, oh, the kid, and you have to consider the kid. And I'm very sympathetic to that argument. First of all, anger management is a mandatory thing. You have to do that. That has to be contingent on any sentence that's imposed. Even if it is going to be a severe criminal sentence, you have to have the psychological component to that to address the core issue. Because allegedly the kid in the high school game did something similar a prior year in a different sport. And you can look that up if you want more information about that. But that shows a pattern. That's a problem. The last thing we need is for that person to become a police officer. Because killed. I mean, come on. In any case, I'm spotlighting these things to show the abuse still occurs, the physical attacks still happen. It's a dangerous job, and you might say, oh, you're exaggerating. But again, am I? Visit us online at closecallsports.com. I'm talking with our sponsors over at the OSIP Foundation. Outstanding sportsmanship is paramount. Check them out at osipfoundation.org. And I'm trying to figure out a way to discuss this with them too. because what they're trying to do over at OSUP is change the game in a way that we are respectful and we are nice to each other and we don't physically attack people just because we disagree with a call. No one was going to win a World Cup or lose a World Cup that day, but someone lost their life because our world is a little bit crazy. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Anyway, we'll see you on the site, closecallsports.com. Our sponsor is Out West Officials. Maybe our friends at Out West need to start selling like heavy armor and vests and all sorts of defensive gear. I mean, it's sad, but maybe Out West Officials will be the first website to have that. We'll see you on the site, closecallsports.com.